Hey everyone, this is the video for the squid dissection review. This is my new one for the spring of 2024. These squids are bigger and a little bit different than previously. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the external anatomy of the squid first. So when we talk about anatomical directions, this side is dorsal, it's the darker side. The other side, this is the side that we cut on. This is ventral, and that's where the siphon is located. The anterior posterior is a little weird because the anus is located down here near the head. So think about they're called cephalopods, so head, foot. Their organs are up here, not in between their head and foot. So we still refer to towards the head as anterior, but away from the head is posterior, not towards like the anus or towards the rear or towards the butt. It's not referring to that. It just, in this case, posterior just means away from the head. So you're going towards like the fins, even though the anus is like technically here and it releases out through the siphon. Okay, so that's the anatomical directions. They had two types of appendages in squid and same in cuttlefish. They have 8 arms that are shorter, and if you look at the arms, there's suckers down the whole entire appendage. Then there's 2 longer ones, which are the tentacles. So they have 2 tentacles, and if you look, they only have suckers at the ends. So the whole entire upper body of the squid is called the mantle. So the tissue layer that covers all the organs inside here. What's different in cephalopods versus the other mollusks is that there's no shell on the outside of the mantle. Then at the top of the mantle, like I said, we have these fins that help like steer direction when it's swimming. And like I said, on here on the ventral side, we have the siphon, where water is expelled out for jet propulsion. Eggs and sperm can come out. The feces from the anus, you can see it right there, come out through here, and ink comes out to the siphon. Another thing here on the body is this purple pigmentation. So cephalopods and squid can color change. These little purple dots are chromatophores, which are specialized pigment, like color changing cells. So purple pigments is the chromatophores. They have very complex eyes. If we cut into the eye, there'd be a hard little lens that you cut out, like a little hard little bead. So they have a lens just like our eyes for helping them see. I'm not going to test over it, but the edge of the mantle is called the collar. And you can actually on this dorsal side see where the pen is located. You can see how it's a little tip right there. And it's actually, you can see more of a pigment right here in the center. That's where the pen is, which is the reduced shell. And if I look right here on the inside is you can see the pen. That's the reduced shell that runs along the mantle to provide support. I think that is most of the external. The only thing is if I cut into the head, we have the mouth, which is in the form of a beak, and inside the beak is a tongue-like structure called a radula. We grab it, that's been cut out. So if I cut it out, so that ball-like structure in there where the beak is located is called the buccal mass. So the buccal mass is the ball-like structure where the beak is located. So there's that. So now I'm going to go into the internal anatomy. So we have a male squid right here, which only a few people had the male squid. And over here we have the female squid that most people had. So the only bad thing with the female is the reproductive structures are covering up most of the organs. So I'll come over here and talk about the female reproductive organs. So this, come over on this side. This orange structure with all these little things, this is the ovary, the orange part, and these are eggs. So the ovary with eggs. And then the other female reproductive organ has been broken. These two large lobe finger-like structures are the nidamental glands, and that secretes the substance that creates the egg mass covering over the eggs when they're fertilized and before the female lays it. So those are the two female reproductive organs. Like I had to break it in order to get to the hearts. So the hearts are located right here, but it's really hard. It became a little bit mushy. You can see it's kind of glandular and lobe. The one in the middle right here is the systemic heart, so you'll need to know that the systemic is in the middle. And then there's two brachial hearts on the side. So the side ones are the brachial, and then they pump blood to the gills. The other gills on the other side. So the brachial hearts pump blood to the gills. And that's the respiratory structure, circulatory. And the systemic heart pumps blood to the whole entire body. Okay, and then we can't really see the stomach and cecum here in the female. I'll show you in the male here in a second. Okay, this large lobe structure right here, that's the liver, or the digestive gland. That secretes digestive juices, enzymes. Then here on the liver right here, this black structure, that's the ink sac with ink. But if I look closely, there's this little tan tube. Then I can travel up underneath the hearts and it'll go up to connect to the cecum. That little tan tube right here is the intestine, and at the very end right here is the anus, and the end of the ink sacs right here too, and they get expelled out through the siphon. So that's really, and then all this inside of this is still the mantle that we have cut open. Also, if we lift the head, like I said, on this side, we had the pen, and then we can actually remove it. And this helps to provide the support, so it's a reduced shell. So now I'm going to the male. I'm not going to test over the male reproductive organs, but you can see some of the organs better here than you can in the female. So since there's no ovary and nidamental gland, this is the stomach, a small little thick pouch. This structure right here, you can see that they're actually connected. This is the cecum, where more digestion happens in the stomach and it holds the food. Digestion continues here, plus it also starts nutrient absorption. So that's the cecum. Over here on the side is the male reproductive organs. So this sac right here, it looks different than my squid from previous years. They're more like this, but more like red or pink. So this is the testis, it only has one. I don't have it on the list, but this is the spermatophoric gland. This small little sac right here, there's a whole bunch of little tubes in there. That's the vas deferens, where the sperm travels down. So if I open up, there'd be a whole bunch of little tiny tubes. And then if I look right here, there's a little tube attached to the end right here. That's the penis, where the sperm packet is going to be expelled out. So that's the penis. The sperm packet will come out. It'll come out through the siphon. The male will grab it with his arms and then hand it over to the female. And since we have no female organs covering, we had the hearts, but like I said, they're kind of a little mushy. The stomach is in the middle. The brachial hearts are on the side. And you can still see part of the pen right here that wasn't removed. The top part, oh no, it's still there. So you can actually see the pen a lot better on the male. And then you have the digestive glands, ink sac. And you can kind of see this tan tube a little bit better right here. And then it travels up under here and connects to the cecum. And that's the intestine, where digestion or nutrient absorption continues, and then the formation of feces, and then the waste gets expelled out. Let me double check that I covered everything. I do believe I did. And then, like I said, if I cut into the head, this ball-like structure is the buccal mass, and there is a beak, and inside the beak would be a tongue-like structure called the radula. On some, if it got pulled out right, there'd be a little stringy structure attached to the buccal mass. Once it's removed, that was the esophagus. That would run underneath the organs and then connect to the stomach. So here, and it travels up underneath all the way up to the stomach. Okay, so I believe that's everything for the squid to help you study, and I hope you found that helpful.